so far as your theory is a valid one, and I accept that, don't you think beyond the trauma, one still has a decision to make in every situation as to whether to do the thing or not do it? And why is not that decision-making power the prevalent theme rather than the trauma? Because you can be traumatized. As I said, you know, one people will treat you bad.
But you're quite right in your discourse, Minister. You're quite right in your discourse. A number of things jump out at me there quickly. One, yes, Mount Hinnowa tree declined, but knowing that tree also determines how you perceive that tree and what you see as that tree, yeah? And so, even though a person may have been traumatized, can they make the right decision is what I'm hearing? And yes, they can. We have to consider the power of resiliency. You see, I can be traumatized and you can be traumatized by the same trauma. How I respond to my trauma and how you respond to your trauma can be very different. I have treated a lot of people. I had the one case in my early career. One family, 5 people, 6 different responses to one trauma. One trauma, the mother went away on vacation and never come back. And you had children, the bright one stuck tall, the not so bright one looking for a bridge to jump off. The one who wasn't too bright, he determined that he's going to put forward to change the circumstances. And the other 2 were just whatever. The point is, we have to look at the resiliency that surrounds a person. If I am to pull myself out of this trauma, we need to consider 3 things. And I want to use the bootstrap to make this example. You ever hear pull yourself out of the bootstrap? That's a famous thing, much to what you are saying. Okay, you were traumatized, but there comes a point where you now have to pull yourself up. But this is what I see. I have to consider if the man have a boot and a strap. I have to consider if the man have a boot with no strap. It means that I have to help him to get the strap. And I have to consider the man who don't have a boot, no strap. And I have to now teach him how to get the boot, how to get the strap, how to strap it up before he can even begin to pull himself up. And so when I consider trauma, to this detail, I consider, did that young man who was traumatized, was he able to pull himself up with the tenacity, the wherewithal that he knows? Who are the people that surround him that is teaching him how to cope and how to change his circumstances because of the trauma? One of the greatest trauma perpetrated on the world is poverty. And you as a minister, and all of us know from social development, it's the same people coming year in and year out. And we don't ask ourselves, why does one person keep coming here all the time? Is it that they're lazy? Is it that they don't want to work? Or is it they don't understand how to even see something different to what they know? And so a big part of what you are talking about, yes, there are those who can pull themselves up because of the circumstances. You talk about your grandmother. That could have been the rod that kept you straight enough. And then there are those who don't have a grandmother. They say, but whatever, you do whatever, you come home whatever time, you go whenever, you come whenever, and there is no guidance. That is why I like the whole, the police youth club, guiding the people, and the scouts and that, who I find has been dwindling over the years. Those were the things that kept us and give us the strength that we needed to treat the trauma. And the last point I will make here is the social environment. We spoke about that earlier. Yuri Brunfred, in 1979, spoke about the ecological model. And the only way we can understand change is we understand that the system works with the people. And the people work with the system. And if we have to change the violence, if we have to change the traumatized child to a more resilient child, we have to ask ourselves, is the social environment that surrounds this child is able and or willing to help that child? Because you have a mother who might be willing and so caught up with trying to provide that she is not emotionally available to provide the support that the child needs. You may have a father who is willing, but because he has to hustle 3 and 4 jobs to even make the ends look as if he wanted to meet, he don't even have the tenacity to even be there to hug his son and say, come boy, let me show you what love is. He's too busy to show that child love, not because he don't love the child. And that child now has to grow up without understanding, and that is where the social environment comes in to help provide the love. Sometimes the only love a child sees when that teacher gives that child a hug. That's the only hug that child will ever see, because mom and daddy are so busy. And that teacher knows to give that child a warm embrace in the morning. And if that child don't get that embrace, the child tell him to school. Why do you think that is? And so those are the consequences. Not that people can't change out of trauma, because I've seen it. What we have to consider is the system around the person able to guide them through. Because if all I know is this trauma and nobody's showing me a different way, how can I change? Thank you.